It's July 7th, and Patrick Mahomes just hired a guy on contract to be his human bidet. Because he's got that kind of money.
Oh, my God.
Let's just, I mean...
Do we do that first?
The other topics of the day have to be pushed. This is a $500 million sports deal.
10 years.
10 years in the NFL?
Which he still had 2 left, so now it's 12 years in Kansas City.
Well, he goes from 10 million, no, it's 2.1 to 21, and then this deal kicks in.
Yeah.
Is I think how his original deal works. So,
wow.
Yeah, this isn't even going to kick in until 2 seasons from now.
And what's he making, like 45 a year probably?
I mean, off field?
No, on field.
I think
on the Chiefs.
2.1.
No.
With this
during
deal,
this deal,
one, I have no
45.
idea.
Right?
It was 30. I think it's 30 guaranteed, and then another. I think you're right. Another like 15 in incentives.
The details are still coming out as we're recording. We're finding stuff like $140 million guaranteed for injury.
Wow.
That doesn't really make sense to me. Like they're like thinking that he'll get injured for like 5 years in a row. Like that just doesn't really make sense to me.
I think it kind of relates to his knee injury that he had this year, and how it could kind of be if that becomes a recurring issue of something to where you just pop it out of place or you miss a few games.
But isn't that what guaranteed money is for anyway?
Right.
So what the hell's the difference?
So good point.
I don't know how that works, but.
So how does he get to, what's the difference is, because we hear, I never understand NFL contracts. They're the hardest thing in sports, I feel, to figure out.
Is it by design?
Maybe. But so what's the difference of when we hear Kirk Cousins has 88 guaranteed and this injury guarantee?
See, but
is that his base?
There's
no matter what?
Yeah, base. Yeah. There's no incentives. That's what I don't understand. I've never heard of an injury contract or whatever the hell they called it.
Like a clause,
doesn't make any sense.
Maybe it's just a clause.
Unless that's on top of his guaranteed money. If he gets hurt, then he gets this much money.
I think that's if they cut him, since it is such a massive deal and so long.
Can I just
because
say,
of a career ender?
I hate this deal. I think it's a bad decision. I look, I get it. Patrick Mahomes, once in a lifetime talent. I think he could possibly win with anybody. I think he could. There's that possibility, but
can he win with nobody?
He's not going to have anybody. This is a $500 million deal for 10 years. This is Gruden money, like you were talking about in the text when we were talking about this deal.
That's the only guy who has a comparable length in the league.
He's going to be with the Chiefs until 2031.
At least.
And Tyreek isn't going to stay around for no money. Kelsey's not going to stay around for no money. And yes, they could probably draft these guys and build a team like they did, but even then, like we talked about this ad nauseum on this podcast, a lot these teams win with rookie contracts because they can
quarterback contracts,
right? Because they can afford to pick up these superstar receivers. That's how Tom Brady won 6 rings, because he took pay cuts. And I just as good as Mahomes is, I don't like this deal.
The real question I think here is Andy Reid there when Patrick Mahomes' contract is up?
As long as he's still breathing.
He's been around the block a few times.
He's up there in age.
For coaches, I think he's in the older
60
half.
or 70, I think.
He's got to be in his 60s,
he's at
early
least 60,
60s.
At least 60.
We're fact checking.
Fact check.
We need a stat boy. That's what we need. Or a stat girl.
We need another laptop right here just for immediate stats.
62. He's
62. Early 60s. So
he just turned 62.
So he will be 73 when this is over.
Well, isn't that about what Belichick is? Isn't Belichick getting up there in the 70s?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Pete Carroll's up there,
but the outlier,
upper 60s.
Well, Pete Carroll also outlier.
Pete Carroll is extremely
He's a
fit
psychic vampire that feeds off the energy of his players.
Jeez Louise.
He'll never die.
Well,
that's why he's like chewing gum like a maniac at all times.
Belichick is 68.
68. So I bet Pete Carroll's probably pretty close to 68.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Pete Carroll is older than Belichick.
I will fact check one more age, and then I am done fact checking ages.
Back to the Chiefs. But we saw this kind of when Aaron Rodgers got at the time the biggest deal in the league, Brandon.
Pete Carroll is 68 as well.
Thank you, 68. So we're getting to they're in the old guard now. But to this contract, we've seen it to where you can't fill out a team once you pay the quarterback. And that's happened across the league. The cupboard gets a little barer, especially on defense. So if you can't fill out a defense, which has been the Packers' problem since they really paid Aaron Rodgers, we might not even see the Chiefs back in another Super Bowl, partly because of this contract.
Well, yeah, I'm not expecting the Chiefs to win 10 straight. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
They're not like that doesn't
That's not
happen.
possible.
That doesn't happen.
No.
But it's very realistic to think that they'll win 2 or 3 in 10 years. I think it's very realistic to think.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't expect more than that.
No, well, yeah, because at a certain point.
But there's lots of, Russell Wilson hasn't been back since he was off his rookie deal. Rodgers hasn't been back. There's a lot of people.
The evidence is there
that haven't been able to win or even hardly get back to the Super Bowl without being on a rookie deal.
And in the past 10 years, even in losses, we see the Patriots return again and again because even if we have criticized who they give Brady to throw to, they have had an outstanding defense for the past decade.
Yeah.
And that has been possible, and they've been able to pay offensive linemen second contracts.
There's a huge improvement this season with the Chiefs' defense, but you're right. That's another aspect we're not looking into is they relied on Mahomes to carry them.
Jamal Adams is now officially off the table. I will cut off my pinky if the Chiefs start the 2020 season with Jamal Adams.
We got to remember that everybody's taking pay cuts in New England. It's not just Brady.
Right, sure.
The whole team is.
Good point.
Sure, but
because that's why Jamie Collins left for 4 years is because he didn't want to take a pay cut. So he went to Cleveland, got paid, and then came back.
But I think but I also think that's an aspect I didn't even think of, Paul, was the idea that forget offensive players. They might not even be able to get defensive superstars to come over and play. And yes, they did make a big improvement, but they still weren't jaw-dropping defensively. I mean, they still struggled in the playoffs, and yes, they had Mahomes there, and they will have him to carry them, but I feel like they're going to ask way too much of Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to have to be...
That's why they're paying him that. That's the point.
I get that, but no player is worth 10 years and $500 million.
Who are they not? Who
I don't care how good they are.
Okay, skill
I don't
positions.
care if you have the Flash on your team. He's
They
not
do.
worth the money. Well, they
They
do, but...
Who are they not going to pay? Skill positions. Next contract that's up, is it going to be a playoff Damian, Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
Tyreek is the most important player on that team outside of Pat Mahomes.
You think Hill gets paid no matter what?
Yeah,
but there's also
Hill is the guy that makes that thing run.
There is also an important aspect. There is also he runs fast.
Faster than Kyler.
He runs fast.
tpublic.com, Loud Sports. Get a T-shirt or you can get a face mask for COVID that says he runs fast.
Oh, I need that.
There you go. But that's the aspect that we're not talking about too. Is they just drafted that LSU running back. I can't think of his name right now.
Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, and I think he could be a good asset to back up Mahomes. But I don't. Time will tell if he is going to be a great running back. I think he was pretty good with Joe Burrow this past season, but I think everybody was on that LSU team. So we'll see.
Record-setting offense.
Yeah, we'll see with that. Two, I think that's the most important thing is he's going to need a solid running back. If he can't constantly get those skill players, he's going to need a solid running back to help him out.
You just got to draft well, and that's what the Packers haven't done super well is draft
running backs.
When you're paying a guy
offensively,
this much money,
our defensive
had some hits. But the problem is you keep drafting defensive players because you're not doing it good enough.
If Ty Montgomery
when you keep drafting first round defensive linebackers and defensive backs 5 years in a row, you're doing something wrong.
Right. When you keep bringing in guys to be your number 4 receiver that are undrafted free agents, that's also a problem.
But if you got to draft well, that's how you do it. If you don't draft well, it doesn't matter who you have. If you don't draft well, you're going to continue to run out of players.
And if I'm being honest, he's going to need another running back because I don't think he's going to have the same running back 10 years unless it's Frank Gore who's out there in a walker still playing. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe.
Frank Gore, he will last forever. He will stand the test of time. He's like a cockroach that would survive the nuclear apocalypse.
Yeah. 10 years, man. That's 5, I would understand it because that would put him there at Kansas City for another 7 years. But 10 to make a guy there for 12, man, that's...
He'll only be 36.
But $500 million, that's so much money.
Unless he has a career-ending injury, this is probably not his last contract.
He's going to be a Chief for life.
Probably get one more.
Point. I think.
We said that about Brady. This is kind of setting him up for the same 36. Are they competing? Do they have players? Maybe he jumps ship after this and plays out Twilight career on another contender.
Similar to a LeBron type situation as well. just end of the year. Let's go where it would be maybe more sunny.
Right.
Not as cold.
Yeah.
Retire to Florida like Tom did.
Something like that.
Go play for the Jaguars or something.
I could see
the Dolphins.
I could see him going and taking the Rams or the Chargers like storybook, doing a LeBron move of if they need the quarterback, pop in Patrick Mahomes
in the same division.
He seems like an LA guy,
You say Rams or Chargers?
Either one.
Oh, if he goes to Chargers, he's in the same division.
Yeah,
okay. And he's going up against he's pulling a Favre.
I saw Favre in the purple. It happened. Well. Yeah, for 1 year.
Took him to an NFC championship.
He did. So we will see. We're not going to be able to really grade this contract until at least 5 years down the road. It's so long.
I know. Again, I know it's early, but I don't. And do you hate this deal? Because I don't know if I'm the only one of the three of us that hates this thing. I do not like this deal.
I think it's a complete this is a win for the agent, Mahomes, everybody on the player side. The NFLPA should be popping champagne right now. Deshaun Watson was tweeting about this, saying how excited he is because everybody is saying he's the next one to get paid. So
I don't, but lower your expectations, Deshaun, because not everybody's going to get a 10-year, $500 million contract.
Well, I don't think that
he could get $300.
I'm not looking at that, but Pat Mahomes just got almost $10 million more than anybody else in the league.
Yeah.
Like the highest paid is 33 before this.
And this is not what he'll make.
Don't misunderstand. I do want players to get paid. I do want that, but
it's not a team friendly deal.
Yeah, this is not team friendly at all.
No.
Are you okay? What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah.
Overall,
I love the deal.
I mean, it keeps
money.
the face of the league on your team. He's happy. He gets his money.
He's going to be the best player in the league for the next 8 years, no matter what.
He's getting millions a year from Hy-Vee
he could
as well.
He could retire early. He could fill out that contract and be done. That could be it. He could be a chief.
If they get a few more Super Bowls, why not?
He could just be a chief for life. And at 35? What was his late 30s at this point?
He'll be 36. 30? Did we say
36 in 31? He'll be a free agent in 32.
Which would be, I think, a normal age to retire as a quarterback. But who knows? I could see
not anymore.
They want to play longer.
But I could see the Brady trajectory that we were talking about, where he goes somewhere else, goes L.A. or Florida, and is done with it. So
we will review that as we go, as we look at their free agency next year. This is going to be the second sentence in everything said about the Chiefs for the next 10 years. Is maybe this contract.